There is something special going on in Studio A. What we're training to do here could possibly help one of us save someone's life one day. Today we're putting hands on hearts, and Washington Full Circle starts right now. Welcome to Washington Full Circle. I'm Furman Patterson. Performing CPR immediately when someone's heart stops beating can actually double or even triple their chances of survival. The question is, are you prepared to do it? This year, thousands of D.C. residents are being trained to perform hands-only CPR through Mayor Bowser's Hands on Hearts initiative. Here with us today is Chief Edward Mills and Sarah Roque, both with D.C. Fire and EMS. Thanks to you both for joining us today for this important measure.
Thanks for having us.
Now, first of all, Hearts on Hands initiative. When did that start, and what was the mission behind it?
Well, when Chief Gregory Dean came to the Fire and EMS Department, he had retired from the Seattle, Washington Fire Department, and he brought the concept of improving cardiac arrest survival rate with him. Seattle, Washington has a survival rate of greater than 50% from witnessed cardiac arrest incidents. And when we started looking at our numbers here in the District of Columbia, we fell way short of the national average, which is roughly about 11 to 12% nationwide, and we were sitting at around 5%. So when we really started examining how we could improve that here in the District of Columbia, we started tapping into what he knew about cardiac arrest survival rates. And out of discussions that we had had with him, we bounced around through different agencies how to come up with our logo. And
fantastic logo, I love that.
Yeah, there was a lot of thought went into that.
Yeah.
So when we started looking at the program and how we could improve cardiac arrest survival rates here in the District of Columbia, we started reviewing the Resuscitation Academy that was founded in Seattle, Washington, and looked at how they're performing CPR, what made them so successful. So reaching out to them, speaking with folks within their community, we were able to identify ways here in Washington, D.C., and we discussed a lot of them with Mayor Bowser and her team, and she was 100% behind the initiative, and their Hands on Heart was born.
There you go. So Sarah, how many people are you hoping to train this year in hands-only CPR?
5,000.
5,000.
The mayor's goal set in October 27th when the program was launched was to train 5,000 by September 2016.
Wow. And where are we at
and
this
we
point?
are roughly, happily to say, 4,100 approximately. So we hope to be achieving that very soon with the help of everyone who is scheduling and interested in learning.
How are people finding out about this training?
There are many ways. Our chiefs are going to ANC meetings, and every place that we go, we're spreading the word, as well as our website. We have a website within the Fire and EMS, handsonhearts.dc.gov.
Now, Chief, we hear about the majority of the heart attacks happening at home. So tell us, what's the main reason? Where do those statistics come from? Why do we know that?
Well, a lot of the statistics are gathered through organizations such as the American Heart Association, the American Red Cross, and there's also an organization that is called CARES, which is a cardiac arrest registry, which the District of Columbia has partnered with. So many organizations across the country started tracking cardiac arrest, and now we have joined in so that we review every cardiac arrest case that we have here in the District of Columbia. So we use that as a measuring tool to be able to identify our survival rate. And based on the numbers that have been posted through probably the last 5 to 6 years, with the American Heart Association, the American Red Cross, and agencies such as CARES and the Medic One Foundation out west, we are seeing a growth in the number of survivors of witnessed cardiac arrest events.
Mm-hmm.
Now, is this procedure difficult for people to learn? Because the first thing people think, oh, you know, I don't know anything about CPR, you know, am I going to be able to catch on?
No, it's really fairly simple. It's being able to place your hands in the center of someone's chest, push hard, push fast. And the quicker we can start that process, the greater someone's chances of survival is. Now, there are underlying medical conditions that may have an impact on that, but even with underlying medical conditions, if we're able to get hands on the heart within the first minute to minute and a half of that cardiac arrest event happening, the chances of survival can improve by much more than 50%.
That's amazing. Mm-hmm. That's amazing. So, Sarah, how have people been responding to this training and you guys coming out to teach it?
Very well. I'm happy to say that people have been very receptive. They've walked away really feeling empowered. Is a lot of what we hear is that they feel like they're now able to do something for someone, especially loved ones who they may witness in the street who collapse of a heart attack or a sudden cardiac event.
That's great to hear.
Yes.
Don't go anywhere. How do you know when CPR is needed? What does CPR actually do? How long should I do it? The answers to these questions and much more when Washington Full Circle returns. Welcome back to Washington Full Circle. The Hands on Hearts initiative is training thousands of D.C. residents how to perform what could be a life-saving technique for an emergency that most often occurs in your own home. That statistic was amazing to me, how many heart attacks happen at home, which is important because you know, it's going to be a father or a sister or brother or someone else that needs to perform the emergency treatment. Why is it so important that this occur immediately?
By starting the compressions on someone that has witnessed or suffered a sudden cardiac arrest event allows for the circulation of the blood to continue while emergency responders are responding to the scene. In about a 4 to 6 minute window is when your vital organs, especially your brain, will start to suffer the effects of lack of oxygenation. So by putting the hands on the heart, you essentially become the heartbeat for that individual, preserving those organs so that when the paramedics arrive on the scene and start administering medications and they're able to provide electrical shock to the heart, those interventions are much more successful because we've been able to keep those organs that need that oxygen ready to respond to them.
Now, you haven't heard the word Samaritan in so long, and now it's being talked about a lot because this program is actually teach people to do something to help not only their loved ones, but it could be a neighbor, it could be someone at work. What's been the response to people about doing something, you know, not for their family member, but doing something to a stranger, performing CPR to a stranger? Did you get any pushback from that or questions?
Yeah, people always want to know. And then, yes, we talk about the Good Samaritan law. I think people are generally good-willed and they really want to help, but of course everyone's afraid of litigation. I don't think that has been at the end of the day and at the end of the trainings. I think people feel much more comfortable with what they're doing and the fact that they're really helping someone versus hurting them, and we really have gotten a great response and people really charged with wanting to help someone.
Now, obviously the mayor wants to help everyone in the city be healthier, and she's actually participated, I understand, in CPR training. Well, tell us about that. When did that happen and how?
Yeah, so when we launched the program, or she launched the program on October 27th, we trained everyone in the Wilson building who I believe was part of a hearing. So herself and the 13 council members participated in the training.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Now, there was also, I think, that the mayor was at the convention center, was also doing some of that training there. Is that?
She was during the recent NBC4 Expo, which is a huge event at the Washington Convention Center. DC Fire and EMS, along with the American Red Cross, the American Heart, and Serve DC, all were set up to provide the learning environment for as many people that wanted to learn compression-only CPR. We also ran events at another location where we did a full certification course, and Mayor Bowser showed up, and she again got on the floor and started participating in the compression-only CPR with our everyday citizens.
Right. Now, actually, after people complete this training, it lasts for how long? The training itself,
This is not a full certification course, so what we teach with the compression-only CPR doesn't have an expiration date on it. However, it's like anything else. If you don't do it, and this is something that you don't want to do regularly, but there are videos that you're able to go to online at American Red Cross and American Heart Association websites, along with YouTube, to where you can review them and make sure that you keep refreshed how the skill is to be performed.
So, Sarah, there's some immediate certification once you take this roughly half-hour or 60-minute training, CPR training. But are there other courses or places that people can get extensive training on CPR as a Good Samaritan?
Yes, absolutely. We offer, DC Fire and EMS offers training through our CPR program coordinator, and that website is, or that link is on our website, thehandsonheartsdc.gov, as well as a lot of our partners, as Chief Mills have mentioned. AHA and the American Red Cross are partners with us in this initiative, and they also offer training in their course, in their curriculum. A lot of them are free, some Heart Savers, which is primarily, it includes the AED use as well as hands only, and some components of first aid, and then some you have to pay for, but they're all available on the websites for people to figure out which ones best suit their needs.
Fantastic. What do you see as some of the challenges in, well, you've already reached over 4,000 people, but what have been the challenges in getting to that number?
I think initially was how we advertised to the public, how we were able to reach out to the public and be able to establish areas to be able to conduct the training. Now that we've identified some of those areas, and we've worked with Mayor Bowser's marketing team to help us prepare literature, help us get the word out through social media, making sure that we get the word out with a tagline on all the district government emails. There's just been a huge response to the support that we've gotten from everything that we've put out, and we're seeing a tremendous growth month by month on people reaching out wanting training.
I definitely want to talk to you more about that. Stay put. Right here in our studios, district residents are learning how to perform a CPR technique that can help save lives. More about Hands on Hearts when Washington Full Circle returns. And welcome back to Washington Full Circle and our discussion on the Hands on Hearts initiative. Now, there was training going on in our studios today, so of course I had to get involved. And I got this after I learned so many interesting things today. But tell me first, Chief, have you ever encountered the situation where you had to perform real CPR on anyone?
Absolutely. In the profession that we're in, we are drawn into many instances where we're performing CPR. I have had several instances where I was out in public with my family and have actually engaged in CPR. And that's the good thing about knowing this, is you never know where you're going to be when somebody may need it. And by you being in the right place at the right time, that person has a good chance of surviving with the assistance of someone.
That's fantastic. And you know, what I realized too during the training today is you're supposed to keep doing it until the paramedics arrive. I always thought you did it and you wait and listen for some things, but tell us about that, Sarah.
Yeah, the idea is that, as Chief Mills said, we're going to push hard, push fast for as long as you can, really. We're asking people to be able to, you know, pace themselves, but try to keep the compressions going for as long as help arrives or someone else who knows CPR comes up to them and relieves them. Again, every minute that we can, you know, have compressions and the circulation of the blood going is going to improve the chance of survival for someone. So,
yeah, that's amazing. I always wonder too, what's been the most unusual thing that you've encountered in trying to reach these 5,000 people?
Getting them in large groups. That makes it so much easier to reach our goal. But we'll take smaller groups. We want to train as many people as we can. We're not turning anybody away. If we have 1 or 2 people that want to get the training and we're able to deliver that, we do. We have numerous rotating events at Engine 24 on Georgia Avenue. We have the 5th District Police Station where we have their community room booked several times a month. You can go to fems.dc.gov, click on the Hands on Heart logo, and there is a link there for all of our public events, and you can sign up to attend any of them.
And you can hear music. What was surprising to me is hearing the music selection today. What's the purpose of the music?
Yeah, the music is supposed to help us with the rhythm. So if we keep the rhythm of the song, and you're probably referring to the Staying Alive song, it gives us that 100 to 120 beat per minute. That is a recommendation for the number of compressions that we do per minute. We also, you heard me referring to Uptown Funk, we're using that a lot. And for little kids, which we also train, kids 8 and over, we use Row, Row, Row Your Boat. You heard the paramedic today talk about that a little bit, so.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is it difficult to train children in doing CPR?
I don't find it any more difficult than training an adult. The children seem to be enthused about it, but they also tire a little quicker because they don't have the muscular tone that the adults do. But they're really excited to be able to do it, and by instilling a skill in them at a young age, that's something they can remember for the rest of their life. Maybe they won't be as effective doing it now, but later on in life, that's a skill that they may need to use, and it'll be much more effective.
Now, CPR training is not the only thing that fire and EMS does, you know, through the year to sort of make citizens aware of health needs and emergency needs. Tell us about some of the other things the department does.
We do numerous community service education programs. We have a street calls unit that goes out and supports many community events where they do blood pressure screenings, they do blood glucose checks. We have folks in the fire prevention division that go out and they will do home fire safety surveys to help people establish safer ways of living in their homes. And really what that does is it identifies things in a home, whether it be faulty furnaces or things like that, having smoke detectors, having carbon monoxide detectors, and identifying potential trip hazards that become common with elderly folks, and once they fall, their bones are not as strong anymore as they once were due to the aging process, so they can suffer injuries much easier. So we try to identify a lot of things like that to protect our citizens.
What I found today in this CPR training is that people are actually having fun. Looking around, you don't expect it, but people are actually having fun. Why do you think people have fun doing this?
Well, I think people feel like they're learning something that they can actually use. And a lot of folks have a lot of questions too. We find that people have there are a lot of myths out there that they dispel, and I think just the fact that they're learning something that is useful. And again, the bottom line to us and what we take back is that folks feel empowered. They're walking away feeling like they could do something that's going to make a difference in someone's lives, and that's rewarding in and of itself.
Fantastic. Where do you see this training program in the next few years?
I see this training program paying huge dividends, watching our survival rate in the District of Columbia climb. I see us becoming a community that will show how much they care about their neighbors, and I think this is going to be a model program that we can continue to grow.
Fantastic. Thanks to you both for joining us today and training me. Hope to see you again soon.
You're welcome.
That's it for Washington Full Circle. Thanks for our guests, and thanks to you for watching. We'll see you again next time.